I think making sure that you're checking in with all the people that you love most allows each person to speak freely on what's really going on. And a lot of those conversations then lead to people opening up about things that you didn't even really know. If you really take the time to listen to your family and your loved ones, you'll hear things that you didn't know they're going through, and therefore you can support each other better. Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world. Okay, guys, we're back. Still got all the kiddos here, minus Huns Buns. She's not in office or in the studio with us, but we are. We were just talking a little bit about, I don't know, we were kind of joking about the countries that we're in, and Abbie asked a great question, right? You said, what's the difference between perfect country and control country? And, I was explaining to her, and I figured I'd just turn on the microphone while we're having this conversation, but I'm way in the control country. And, but I'm not really in the perfect country. I really live by a philosophy that done is always better than perfect, right? I care more about stuff just being done. And then, cause I know me, if I try to do things too perfect, then I won't get them done. Right. Or I'll end up having too much anxiety along the way. So it's not a natural tendency for me, but, I love being in control. I know that much. Right. And I feel a little weird when I'm not in control. It's I was thinking about even when we go to like when we've gone to different places with all of us as a family, like at an amusement park or something like that, and let's say your parents are there too. Your dad lives in control country. Mm-hmm. You live in control country. I live in control country. So you can imagine what it's like going to an amusement park and everybody trying to make decisions on a like every 10-20 minute basis. So I usually just kind of check out. And I'm just like, just tell me where we're going because I can handle this for an afternoon, But we decide that on the front end, right?
That's the whole key to the whole thing.
Yeah.
Is for a long time we wouldn't discuss like who's going to be in control today and who's not going to be in control today and who needs to play, more of the back seat and let you lead, vice versa, because all of them are amazing. You know what I mean? Like, and if you start thinking yours is the one that you wish you didn't have, that's the wrong thought process. Yeah. All of them are amazing. But when you're working in groups of people or in your family or in your business or in your friendship group, understanding your role each time is what matters. And that's what makes it, fun.
I was just thinking back to the one time, I don't know where we were, but we were somewhere and we hadn't really talked this through much yet. And it was one of our first times doing something with your mom and dad. And, we didn't know. You have this idea going to a place where it's just going to be, it's so much family fun. But then you get there and one control person's like, well, I want to start this place. And I want to make sure we do this thing. And this person's over here saying, no, I really don't want to do that. In fact, let's go this way. And then it's like one person's like, well, this is the order we should be walking in to make sure we can watch. Like, it's like all these chiefs in a room. It gets high intensity really quick. And I remember it created major tension to you and me. You and me were kind of fighting, but not wanting to fight in front of the kids or your parents. So we weren't talking to each other. And I was walking next to your mom, you guys, right next to her like this. And I'm paying attention. I can tell when mom usually gets upset about something, she gets kind of like focused. You can tell she's thinking it through. And so then the rest of everything around her kind of goes, she doesn't pay as much attention. But I'm watching and we're coming up on a corner and there was this like creature that would spit water out over the middle of the path every say 20 seconds. And I'm sitting here, I'm watching this, and I'm like timing it. And I'm thinking, I'm going to get mom. And I kept like slowly kind of edging her over to where I think it's going to happen. And finally, sure enough, it was so perfect. She's so mad at me. And all of a sudden the thing, I don't care, it was like a camel, just spews this water out of its mouth and just nails mom. I started laughing.
So you went from control country to fun country.
She was
just
so
like
mad.
that.
Oh my God. And it didn't. By the way, you would think that would have like brought some humor to the situation. It didn't. For sure.
Only for you.
Well,
you jumped
later,
the fun country.
Later, I had to pretend like I wasn't laughing about it, and I don't even think I told you until like maybe a month later that I actually did that. I just let you believe it was just random. So, anyways, one thing I want to talk about on this episode is, well, we have all you kiddos in here, is one thing that Mom and I would for sure like to do with you guys too. And we kind of already do this, but I just want to make sure we're always intentional about this. And that's just to have, at bare minimum, like monthly check-ins, with each of you. How's things going? How's it going between you and your siblings? How's the sports thing going? Everything, like how's your workload? Any of that kind of stuff, right? And just being able to have these monthly check-ins and just want you guys to be aware that we want to do this. And so we'll take opportunities to do it over time, but you'll have to be a little proactive too and realize that we want to do it. So don't wait for us to do it if you feel like you have some stuff you want to talk to us about, and another thing, that if there is some kind of like issues or challenges, I'd like it just to be a rule of thumb that you bring to us your challenges, but you also bring to us at least one to two solutions for it. And then we can talk them through. Because what that does, it teaches you guys how to be problem solvers. It gets you away from only kind of dwelling on the problem. Instead, it gets you naturally inclined to be consistently thinking about new solutions. Because you ask the Holy Spirit for some answers. It's amazing how much the Holy Spirit will respond. And this will kind of force you guys to do it. What do you guys think about that?
That sounds great.
Yeah, I like the idea about a little bit of productivity, and I feel like it's also another thing about bringing solutions is it's really easy to just think about your problems. It's more about this is a problem, this is an even bigger problem than I thought it was. And then if you keep thinking about the problem, you're just going to keep convincing yourself that you have a problem. But when you just start being solution focused, then you become in your life more solution focused, and it seeps out into more areas than just one.
Very good. Mom, what's your thoughts?
No, I think it's great. I think making sure that you're checking in with all the people that you love most allows each person to speak freely on what's really going on. And a lot of those conversations then lead to people opening up about things that you didn't even really know. Like even I was just talking about a couple episodes ago, Belle, about how you were saying how everything's going so much better with you and Abbie since, we've had a break since tennis, But even just discussing how it was really kind of stressful. I mean, everything that went with it, tons of fun, lots of learning, but like it was stressful. And if we hadn't discussed it, you might not have felt that you were heard during a season that was stressful for you. And now next year when it's coming on, it makes a little more sense on how to handle it. That, okay, so after tennis and stuff like that, it's time to give each other a break. It's time not to have you guys, feel like you have to be 24/7 together when really you need a break once in a while. So, I mean, that's just an example of if you really take the time to listen to your family and your loved ones, you'll hear things that you didn't know they're going through, and therefore you can support each other better.
So throughout the years, Druce and Elli, my tomato over here, have spent a lot of time together, right? And because they'd spent so much time together, they're like half the time giggling, half the time arguing, half the time wrestling, half the time poking fun at each other. Just like so much time together, they get on each other's nerves, but yet they love each other fully at the same time. And, so we've always called them peanut butter and jelly around here because they're just together all the time. Well, this last season of tennis, you guys kind of became the new peanut butter and jelly, Abbie and Bella. You guys would wake up in the same room, even sharing a king size bed.
Yes,
right?
We're sharing a bed, and then when we wake up, we go to the same schoolroom and go and work and have the same food.
You use the same bathroom
then,
too,
yes,
and brush your teeth in the same place and everything else.
And then after that, we go to tennis practice, and we'd be there for all the different times. So it'd be from JVB practice all the way to the end of varsity practice, and for windows of that time, it would be only us on a court. So this normally gets a game going, and so then it gets really competitive, and then it's like the shots you mess up or just the times you're mad because they just like tried to destroy it and totally missed it. Then you had to go chase the ball you didn't even want to go chase, and then that kind of goes into matches that are super fun. But it's different when you have your partner is also the person that you live with, because then it's like it's just a whole nother aspect of tennis.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't just kind of leave your
you can't leave your partner like and let them go to their own home. You go to the same home afterwards, and then it's fortunate they had me in their room because otherwise they probably would have had more arguments. And
So
I'm like,
you were kind of the mediator.
yeah, and I was like, guys, I don't want to hear it tonight. Just let's talk about something else.
No, but it was hard. It was districts day, and we played 6 games together. So literally after every game, we literally got so mad at each other, we had to separate from each other. Really so bad. And then I tried to come up to her. I'm like, so want to talk? Separate. Until we finally we're like, okay, we really need to figure out a solution. We lost like 2 games in a row here. We got to win here so we can get in the good bracket here. And we actually did. We figured out something. We just got to stop overthinking it and play our game. We were like getting so mad at each other. It was not helping in our tennis game. We were getting too mad at each other instead of trying to learn the situation. We did the math and we played 54 games of tennis over 6 sets. And we realized when you're playing that much tennis, you got to just kind of keep your game going.
Yeah. So you guys were almost getting more, your anger was getting more directed towards each other versus the opponent.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow.
And then the worst part is that they had to share their ride home together.
Then you have to share a ride home. Then you have to come home and make food next to each other. Then you have to sit next to each other when you eat your food. Then you gotta have all of us ask all the questions about how did tennis go, and you have to explain it. And then as soon as you started explaining to one person, another person walked up and asked the same question again.
I think from now on, we'll all give you guys more grace because I don't think all of us knew the levels of stress. We just kind of like, what's the big deal? What's the big deal? But again, that goes to show the importance of check-ins because that whole time, Dad and I are just like, I don't know, they seem a little flat today or they seem a little, whatever today. No, it's probably tension from like the last week of like not only playing, the sport together, but being doubles partners and doing all that together makes all the difference in the world. So I love it. I think checking in allows each person, again, to be heard, to be seen. And then I love the idea of like, again, what are a couple solutions? What are a couple solutions? So if I'm having frustration with this, and this, what are some things that you would like to either have happen, something that you want to have changed, a solution that you want to focus on so that we all can be in agreement with it.
Mm-hmm. And for you guys, when you guys need a little bit of space, you always get replenished by reading, right, Belle? Like you like to kind of go off and just have some alone time and just go sit somewhere and just kind of fall into your book. And that usually you're like a different person after an hour, correct? And then Abbie, you like to kind of do maybe some gardening or something with a little bit of creativity. But again, you kind of enjoy a little bit of your own space and you just get to get out there and just, you're not answering anybody's questions. You're not in charge of anybody else. You're not trying to do anything else, right? And so maybe this is part of it. It's like you guys get home from tennis and Bella, go read your book and Abbie, go plant a tomato plant or something.
And nobody feel like that's the wrong thing. Yeah. Like us not be like, hey, Bella, can you stop reading and come do this instead? Hey, Abbie, can you stop gardening? Like they just need a blocked time. I mean, to be able to just, relax, think it through on their own and do something they enjoy. And everybody's is different. Some people like to go take a long shower after something like that. Or some people like to do, maybe play some sports outside or take a walk or whatever the case may be. But to have those solutions so that we all can understand it and respect it so that in the end they're in a better space.
Yeah, just don't take too long of a shower because then your other sibling is going to be mad that they don't even hot water. And you just poured gas on the problem instead of the other way around. Crissy, how do you like to be replenished when you're stressing out?
So I honestly like getting something done. Just like not something big. Like when I have big goals I gotta get done, like I have to get this done. But then I have like smaller things that it would still be counted as productivity if I got them done, but I somewhat enjoy them. Like listening to Mom and Dad's podcast, for instance. I have this goal, like I'll crochet while I'm listening, take some notes. I'll get replenished sometimes by doing that, or if I go read my book, maybe sometimes. Or if it's like, okay, I really got to get this writing paper done, I'm just gonna get it done. Because at the end of the night when I'm in bed, my accomplishments of the day depend on my productivity. So my mind is just put at ease when I get something done.
How about you, Druce, man? What do you like to do?
I like to maybe go outside and shoot some hoops. It's fun because we gotta put up a basketball hoop here on the garage, and I just love going out there and practicing my basketball for a little bit, maybe by myself or with maybe like a Bella or an Elli, because they sometimes play against me, and it's really fun.
You actually like playing something but also having somebody with you, you know, and that's one way that you kind of get your, I don't know, you get your fun spirit back going again, right? So, what about you, Tomato?
I don't feel very stressed very much, so I guess I just play with my brother a lot. It's fun playing with him, so we play basketball or play and dance or something. It's fun doing anything, really.
You kind of like being ornery with him. That kind of does replenish you, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does being ornery with him for some reason, but it does, really.
I hear them so much. Like, I'll be downstairs and I hear them yelling at each other, and then I hear the silence, and then they start laughing. I've literally been in the room before where they've been like, Drew's been like, Ellie, you can't do that. And Ellie goes, well, you did that to me. And then they look at each other and they start to smile. And then they just burst out laughing. I'm like, guys, you're making it too easy on each other.
I know. I've literally come home from doing something and I will hear like Druce and Ellie just screaming at each other, like down through a wall. And I'm just like, I come down, what is wrong? And they're like, nothing. And they're just giggling. It wasn't even a big deal. Like, you guys are hilarious.
I like when they get mad at each other, and Druce will get really mad. And he'll go, Ellie, you are lying. You are lying, Ellie. That is not how it went. And I think the fun aspect is gone, and his control aspect has come out because he is very adamant about what he's saying.
The other night ago, so, you know, we've been hanging out with our grandparents a lot lately. So sometimes when we are like, we get in bed with each other and we start arguing, we'll get a little testy. And Ellie, I don't know what they got in an argument about, but it was so funny. I literally had to hold myself back from laughing. She goes, Druce, you don't feel the pain you give me every day.
You know,
And it's because he punches her in the stomach and stuff like every day. She goes, Druce, you don't feel the pain you give me every day.
because his idea of giving love is wrestling.
Exactly. And I'm
so
like, that's
he'll just
totally
walk
true.
by like Greg does with him and like, you know, punch him in the chest or hit him in the arm or, you know, something funny or give him like, you know, a boy push or something like that. And so Druce will try it to Ellie.
Yeah. And she gets so mad.
And she'll get mad. And so then he's like, what? What's the big deal? I was showing you love.
It was a good thing the lights were off because I was like shaking in my bed with laughter and the kids couldn't see me. So that was good.
I think I'm doing good for him because the other girls would just be like, I'm gonna tell mom and dad or something. They're just gonna get mad.
No,
Crissy wouldn't.
I wouldn't. I let him, and then I go, Druce, if you keep going, I'm gonna get mad. Or sometimes I'm like, okay, Druce, we're about to do something. If I'm gonna get mad if you try to argue with me, so just give me a little grace for the next hour, okay? Like I'll do stuff like that. I'll like prep him. Therefore, if he does do it, I actually have some like credibility where I can like go back to that.
You guys are funny.
And Abbie and Bella would just be like, Druce, get off of me. And he would listen because they're like the oldest, so like it's like they're more in charge, I would say. So it's just funny.
Well, us boys, we need to have our little wrestling release times, you know what I mean? And last night when we were up at the hotel at the Shores Lodge, Mom was like, do you miss Molly, our golden doodle? Because usually almost every night at the end of the night, Molly wants to wrestle. So she goes and she finds one of my socks, puts it in her mouth. I don't know why it was mine, never anybody else's. Puts it in her mouth. Then she starts, you know, trying to bark with her sock in her mouth, which is like a muffled bark. And then she'll run around and I wrestle with her and chase her and do all this stuff. And last night I was getting a little bit like just, I don't know, silly. And Mom was like, do you need Molly to wrestle? I'm like, no, but I would like you to put one of my socks in your mouth and wrestle with me. She didn't do it though. Fun country over there didn't do it, huh, honey?
No, I was saving that country for a different time.
Oh, is that right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thanks, kiddos, for being in studio again. Another great episode.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, everyone. Thanks for listening, and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.